Hey, good evening, guys. So tonight is just gonna be some talking. It's not gonna do anything very technical. But regarding our Keychron K4 keyboards, the optical switches came from a company called LK. If you want to switch just change out the switches, it's kind of difficult to find. And let me show you what I mean by that. So my search began on like everybody, I just search on Google and you find LK optical switches, and you will notice that there are multiple different generations. And look at this guy here, has stabilizer bars around it, and this guy is just a more rectangular kind. And if you open them up and look for these keyboards, you notice that the PCB actually has a bigger squarish hole in it, so that the switch just go all the way through the PCB, and that's not the kind that we're using. So look at this one right here. That's orange stem with stabilizer bars. And what catches my eye is this video right here, which just came from YouTube. It came from a presentation from those people in LK, and they show this R&D history page where this is a black switch that looks just like cherry. This guy here, that looks like the switch that we got for the Keychron, which is it says right here MJ 1.7 optical switch, and it also says here it's a 2015.1, which I think is January 2015. And then they have this MJ 2.0, I think it's called, second generation, which is came out in August. And this 3.0, MJ 3.0, MJ 4.0. So it looks like we got a quite an older version of the switch. There's 1.7 version, 1.0 being completely black, and 1.7 looks like it's kind of transparent, that allows RGB to show through, I guess. And I think the reason we get in this older version is because it's shaped just like the cherries, right? You just need the same footprint as the other switches, but if you go on to these newer generations, then you might have to completely redraw that keyboard, and your shape is gonna look different. Then you have to redesign the whole thing, and you won't be looking at something like Keychron K4, like two different versions of switches. They might look even sized differently. So I think that's the reason why we get old version of switches. But regardless, if you want to change out the switches, or suppose you somehow abuse the switch and it broke and you need new ones, there's no way to get it. I looked all over the place, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Since I can read some Chinese, so if I can go onto these various sites and end up to one of these blog posts that just get. This blog post is pretty long. It basically talked about all the different companies in China that develops optical switches, and one of them, this is called Flare Tech, uses a different actually uses a prism to determine the key press, and it's quite impressive. I think the Flare Tech actually is create some kind of analog switch mechanisms with the optical beams. But let's move over. Keychron. So this is the Keychron switches, and this blog post further talks about basically advantages of optical switches and disadvantage, and why we aren't getting more developments. But those it's interesting read, but it's not the topic for today. So this is the Keychron optical switch, and you can see that this stem is right in the middle right here, and and this is the picture of a Keychron optical being taken apart, and yeah, more Keychron opticals. Yep. So the Keychron optical PCB footprint looks like this. There's a stem right in the middle, and it's definitely not the kind that we need for our LK opticals. So there's another post that points me to a brand in China called RAPOO that uses the LK optical 1.7 switches. And the blog post goes okay right here. So it shows the orange stems, which seems to be more common for this brand. And this guy takes it out, and look, it looks like this. So the footprint looks like this on the PCB, and the stem that detects the optical elements are like slightly towards the bottom of the footprint, which coincides with what I showed in my previous videos. So that's what we have, and the orange stem I believe is a clicky version of the switch, and it features 2 springs here. So if you're in China, you can buy this keyboard and pick up one of these clicky switch orange versions. I don't know where to get them. This is another blog post that talks about the optical switch, and some of you may notice the bloody brand that's also available in America if you want to buy it. This is the LK 1.0 black optical stem. Some of these technical specs. This is the LK 2.0 blue stem, 2.0 red stem, 3.0 orange, 3.0 brown. So nowhere to be seen is our 1.7 version. Now, so after a while of searching, I somehow came across this site, global sources from and the listing for Dongguan Minjian Electronic Technology Company, and these are exactly the switches that are featured in the LK opticals. And this guy, yep, so this guy is what we're looking for. And LK001, so it looks like it agrees with what we're trying to find. And you can inquire them just like Alibaba. If you you can type in English, okay. And these are the business information. So if you visit Dongguan, you can find them. Now here's the problem though. Your minimum order is 8,000 pieces. So here I am looking at this, looking at my keyboard, and I think I'm gonna replace 100 pieces. And here I am looking at the minimum order 8,000. What do you think? This is the official website in the Chinese version, and you can find them on the optical keyboard switches in, if you go to 1.7, this is the one that we've been looking at, 2.0. Not gonna bore you with all the details. This is 5.0, which is a low profile switch, and they also sell the SMD optical elements to go with the keyboard. So you can just buy everything from them, design your keyboard, design your PCB, design your own housing, and you have your keyboard design, right? So this is where I'm at. I don't find any retailers that will sell this kind of switch. It's so rare. So if you just like me end up with one of these optical models, your hopes to get more optical switches is to buy someone else's keyboard and salvage the switches from them. So that ends my search here, and also end my video presentation today. So I hope you enjoy a little talk, and if you like this content about the keyboard technologies or technologies in general, DIY and stuff, drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Peace. Have a good day.